Hi, my name is Jennifer and welcome to my booktube channel. Today I'm going to be doing my April book haul. The first 6 books that I got were actually from my local thrift store, and they're really cheap books there. They're normally like $2 for a hardback, $1 for paperback, but every day they have like 50% off, so sometimes I get books for 50 cents. The first book is Me Talk Pretty One Day by David Sedaris, and I've heard a lot about this book. I've heard a lot of good things about it, but I don't actually know what it's about, and I think I kind of want to go into it blind. I have 2 other books by him, but I think they're both nonfiction books. And this one's a little beat up because it's from a thrift store, but I'm still really excited. I thought there were teeth marks on it. My cat's been eating my books. But yeah, I'm really excited to read this book once I get through all my other books on my TBR. The second book I got was Fried Green Tomatoes at the Whistle Stop Cafe. Yes, I got that right. By Fannie Flagg. And I also don't know what this is about, but I've heard of it and I've heard of the movie, and my mom actually used to make fried green tomatoes with the tomatoes from my grandma's garden. And so I was like, why not? It's 50 cents. I will eventually read this, as I tell myself with all the other books that I have. I will eventually read you, all of you. I plan on it. The second book I have is The Kite Runner by Khaled Hosseini, and I've heard, once again, I've heard a lot about this book, and I've been trying to get into more historical fiction lately, which is why I picked this up, and I've heard such amazing things about this book, and I know very little about it, and I kind of want to keep it that way, just because I don't want to build up any huge expectations for it, but I know I'm gonna love it, and it's probably gonna make me cry. Oh boy. The next book I have is Wise Young Fool by Sean Beaudoin. It's probably French. I should know how to pronounce that. I speak French. It's about a teenager who's kind of one of those bad boys, always in detention, and it just kind of follows his life, and he's just angry at the world. We'll see when I get to this, but I do plan on reading it. The next book I have is A Long Pitch Home by Natalie Diaz-Lorenzi, and it's about a boy who moves to America from Pakistan, but his dad has to stay behind, and the one thing that he was really connected to in Pakistan was cricket, but we don't play cricket in the US, and so he has to adjust to baseball. It's just about him trying to make his life here, or trying to make his life in the US. He's learning to speak English. He's trying to learn about baseball, and I don't believe this is an Own Voices novel. It says that that the author's dad was in the Air Force, so she moved a lot, but I believe it's not an Own Voices novel. But it's middle grade, and I've been wanting to read a lot more of the middle grade variety, just because most of what I read is YA, and I love YA, but I feel like I need to branch out, and I feel like this will be good, because I've also been trying to read more diversely, and I love baseball, so I felt like this was a good match for me. So the next book I picked up, I was really excited about because I've been wanting more books by this author, and it is Bag of Bones by Stephen King, and this is such a beautiful edition. I can't, oh man. I have a mass market paperback that's actually my mom's, and the spine is just, it's really bad. So when I saw this, I freaked out. Again, I have no idea what this is about. The only thing I know is on the back it says A Haunted Love Story. And that's really all I need to know. It's Stephen King. It's beautiful. It's a haunted love story. I'm here for this. Next 3 books I actually got from Barnes & Noble. The first book I got from Barnes & Noble was Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. It also has Through the Looking Glass and a couple other short stories. And I just thought this was so pretty. I love this design. I love the back, the little teapot and a little teacup. It's so cute. And I've never read Alice's Adventures in Wonderland or Through the Looking Glass. My friends did in high school, but I wasn't into it. I didn't care. I think the author's really creepy. But as I've gotten older, I want to read more classics, and this is always at the top of like everybody's list of classics to read. And who could pass up this beautiful spine? It was like $9 for this giant book. It's huge. It's bigger than Bag of Bones. Look at that. Look at that. So, I will read it. I don't know, honestly, about the other short stories in here, but Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass will definitely get read at some point. So the next 2 books that I have are the Barnes & Noble Classics, and I got them because they had this red sticker on them, which meant that they were 50% off of the price of the lowest price on here, which was the cover price at $7. So they were $3.50 each, and that is The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn by Mark Twain and Dracula by Bram Stoker. And I've always wanted to read Dracula, honestly. I'm so excited. One of my old coworkers was reading it last summer, and it sounds so fascinating. And then The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, everyone and their mom has read it, except me. I don't know why. It's a thing. So, my girlfriend actually has this huge edition that has a bunch of Mark Twain's work. But I'm scared to touch it because it's beautiful. It's one of those old looking ones. And so I got this one, so I don't have to worry about messing it up. And the last bout of books. Oh wait, actually no, I lied. This one's from Costco. It's The School for Good and Evil by Soman Chainani. I don't think I said that right. I'm so sorry. But it's about 2 girls. One thinks there's a school for good and a school for evil. And this one girl thinks that she's going to be put in the school for good, and she gets put in the school for evil. And the other girl thinks she's going to be put in the school for evil and gets put in the school for good. And it's just kind of their adventures, I think, about them being at the school they didn't think they were going to end up at. And I think this is also a middle grade. Reagan from Prue's Project talks about it a lot, or I always hear about it from her. So I thought I'd pick it up. It was like $10, $11 or something at Costco. Now, the last bout of books are from that same thrift store I was talking about earlier. Just a different time that I went, because I have no self-control. So the first book that I saw there, I was really excited about, mainly because it was just there at the thrift store. I probably wouldn't have bought it at any other place, but it's Girl Online by Zoe Sugg. And I figured, you know, why not? It was $1. It's probably something really quick, really light, really fluffy. And see, well, why not? The next book I have is Of Poseidon by Anna Banks. And I read the back. I think it was about mermaids. I kind of don't want to reread the back because I like surprises. So I'm going to go with It's About Mermaids. The next book The next book I have is The Land of Stories, The Enchantress Returns by Chris Colfer. This is actually book 2. I don't have book 1. I have not read book 1. But it's Chris Colfer. I love him. I didn't know he wrote books. I was very excited to find out that he did. I love the color of this book. The purple, it's beautiful. And it sounds like it's about fairy tales. The blurb on the back says, "Enter the land of stories where fairy tales are real." And it sounds like a lot like Once Upon a Time, but middle grade version. And so I'm really excited to eventually get book 1 so I can read book 2. And it looks like there's a book 3. So this is going to be interesting. And the last 4 books I have are books 2, 3, 4, and 5 of the series of Unfortunate Events by Lemony Snicket. I've never read the entire series. I have read book 1, and that was years ago. But they had 2, 3, 4, and 5 at this thrift store. So they were $1 each because they're the nice hardback ones. And I've always wanted to read them, but when I was in 6th grade, I was reading a lot. I read so much, and that's kind of when these books were big. So I do want to read them now, because again, I want to get into more middle grade, which is what this series is. It's known for. I'm really excited about it. Well, that is all for my April book haul. I hope you enjoyed it. Please hit like, subscribe, comment down below what books you got this month, and I'll see you next time. Bye.